Hey everyone, this is Jordan from Serendipity OA, and in today's video, I wanted to discuss some additional tips and tricks of how to utilize leads lists to more of their full potential, and potentially discuss some things that most people are not utilizing properly on a day-to-day basis. So what I have in front of me right now is a old leads list from March 2022. This is one of our silver tier lists. So our lists today do look very similar to this. They look a little bit more cleaner, more streamlined, and a bit of additional information. But typically, this is what you'll find if you get one of our leads lists. And so in this clip, I wanted to discuss a couple different things to kind of utilize the functionality of a leads list service, whether it's ours or any other company that you may subscribe to. And so the things that I want to discuss in this video are: one, building your own product database; two, reverse searching leads, or what I like to call rabbit holing leads; and three, looking at the overall big picture and potentially setting some additional alerts for yourself and revisiting old leads. So the first thing would be to make your own database. So the reason why I say that is because if you copy all the leads that you find from every leads list every single day into your own database or your own spreadsheet, you're building quite a powerful tool that you can come back to time and time again. So it's no secret that leads, when they are released on a leads list service, there are a good chunk of them that do tend to tank, and that may not specifically be because of leads lists. It could certainly be because of the leads list, because so many people have access to certain leads, or there's just an influx of new sellers. It could also be that this is a lead that additional people have found at the same time, and that can cause some tanking as well. But just because an item has tanked today doesn't mean it's always going to be that way, and it may become profitable in the very near future. That could be a month down the road, that can be a year down the road. Two, when you put products into your own database, if you have a retailer that you come across that is running, say, a store-wide sale or a sale on a certain type of category in their store, you have a list of products that were already previously vetted to sell on Amazon that you can pull from for that specific retailer, and you can quickly identify some products that will likely make sense for you and your business. So that would be the first thing that I recommend, is when you do get a leads list, copy everything that you have in there or the data that you personally want and put that into your own spreadsheet every single day. And you'll find over time, you'll start having hundreds and then up to thousands of different products you can pull from on a regular basis. So the second thing that I would like to discuss is doing some additional reverse sourcing on the leads that you are presented. So I would never recommend that you use a leads list service as your sole sourcing method. It is certainly possible, and I have heard of people doing it, but I do not like to put all of my eggs in one basket. You never know how long that lead service is going to be around. You do want to ensure that you hone your own sourcing skills, and you may also want to just use the lead service as a base of some products to find and do some additional sourcing from there, and you may be able to find some additional gems that other people have not found. And then three is to look at the overall big picture of items. So if an item, say you are reviewing items that you got from a leads list, say 6 months ago, or you're looking at an item that just has recently tanked, but the item overall, say the average, it sells for a lot more than what the tank price is right now, don't disregard that lead immediately. Sometimes you can look at the overall big picture and you can see the price fluctuations, and maybe the price tends to dip for a few weeks at a time when an item is on sale, or a month at a time. Once that item is not on sale any longer, it comes back up to the regular price and makes sense again. So those are things that are helpful to identify, and you can also use things like Keepa to set alerts for yourself and be notified when listings make sense again in the future. So we're going to go over a couple things here. So the database is pretty self-explanatory. So of course you want to just copy and paste all your leads into your own spreadsheet on a day-to-day basis. I'm not going to dig deeper into that. But two, I'm going to look how to review leads after a period of time. So this list here is from over a year ago. And so we're going to review each and every lead in this list, and we're going to see where it was and where it is today. So the first one that we have here, it looks like a Rejuvenate product from Canadian Tire. At that time, it was $6.99. So let's pull this guy up. So we can see this product here. At the time, it was $6.99. It may have increased since then. There is obviously still some profit here. It looks like it's maybe an okay product. So let's just take a look here. So back then, it was selling for $15.44. We know Amazon has updated their fees since, so we may see some differences in profits and whatnot. Let's get rid of some of these guys. And so it looks like it's currently selling for about 14, 15 bucks. This guy, this may be a lower profit than most people want, but depending on the volume, it may make sense for you and your business. Let's take a look at this guy here. So it looks like it's selling a couple units per month. Some of these sellers may have inventory limits on, so you can't identify their sales. Overall, this doesn't look too interesting anymore. It may have gone past its prime. So previously, it looked like the sales rank was a lot better. And then it kind of looks like the sales rank has become more sparse overall. So this may be an item that you want to revisit if you want to make a couple bucks a month on it, or maybe an item that is just not too interesting anymore. So we'll close out that guy and we'll look at the next guy here. So this one, it looked like we previously sourced it from Canadian Tire. It was previously selling for $35.74, and we had a buy cost of $19.99. So it looks like we have identified a buy cost now of $17.99. So it looks like the profit on this one may have actually increased. So let's take a look at this guy and double check here. So yeah, this price has actually decreased for the regular price. It doesn't look like it's a sale. It just looks like the regular price has actually decreased for us. And so when we previously listed this item, it looked like it was selling for $35.74 with a buy cost of $19.99. So we can see even a year later, the price is still relatively the same. We certainly have seen some price fluctuations, but it has not been too crazy. So it looks like we've gone down to about $33. We've gone up to about $40, and we're kind of leveling out back around the average. So this does look like an item that it could still potentially be viable. We can see right away this may be an item that is viable in the US as well. This is one of our own custom extensions that tells you if an item is in the US. Look out for this. This will be something that we are releasing soon. So if you are a US seller, you might want to look out for that as well. And it does look like this item is selling a decent amount of units. So Keepa estimates at least 24. We know Keepa is just estimations. People can certainly hide their stock. There can be some additional fluctuations in there, etc. But it does look like this one is actually moving some units. So this may be one that we want to reconsider. So if we revisited our list from a year ago, we can see that one of these leads, it didn't tank. It may have tanked temporarily, but we can see it actually moved up in tier. And this is an item that is still profitable today. So that is one that you certainly want to most likely revisit. Okay, so let's look at the next guy here. So now we see this is a Master's Best Friend product. We previously had it listed for $25.08 at a buy cost of $11.69. Let's take a look here. So this one is selling for $27. So it's actually selling for a little bit more than what it was previously. It looks like our average is about 27 bucks. We do see some price fluctuations here and there, but on average it looks like it's selling for about 27. Let's see where we can find this guy here. So it does look like it's still available maybe. Takes a little while to load. So it looks like it's out of stock at some locations. At other locations, what's our price here? $14.99. So at $14.99, it's not quite as profitable. But this is, again, where another process would come in. I don't know for sure if we'll find this elsewhere, but I would certainly recommend that we do attempt to find this elsewhere, because it does look like it is a product that is certainly moving. And if we can find it cheaper elsewhere, it may be more viable. So we'll just do a quick Google search for this guy, and we'll see if we can find it cheaper somewhere else. So it looks like Costco may have a 3-pack. Looks like Canadian Tire may have had it previously for $11.69, so that might be at select locations, so it might be worth looking at different locations as well. And we'll pull up Walmart here too. Okay, so it looks like Costco has a 3-pack for 40 bucks. This one is a 310 gram package. That does look like it's a match, so we will consider that in just a moment. Let's see if Walmart has it. I don't specifically see anything at Walmart right away, so let's pull up a calculator. So if we go $39.99 divided by 3, so our buy cost is now $13.33. So we took an item that wasn't looking too viable, and now looks like it's a little bit more viable. And chances are, if we found this at Costco online in a 3-pack, it is likely available in store for a little bit cheaper as well. You can use services like Cocoa West or Cocoa East to see if those people have taken pictures of this item to find it in store. Or of course, you can call Costco or go into the store and see if they have it available for cheaper. But even just buying it online, it looks like this is now potentially a viable item. We can see that it does look like it may be potentially viable in the US as well. Just do a quick demo of our extension here that we have in beta. We can see in the US it's $143K in pet supplies. It's currently selling for $21.49. I'm going to put in Canadian price. We're currently selling or purchasing for $13.33. That would leave us a profit of $482 Canadian or $360 US. So that may be an item that we want to pull up in the US and explore as well. This may be considered a meat product, so it might be hard to get over the border, but that would be up to you and your cross-border service. And yeah, so this is again another product that looks like it may be viable. And this would be an example as well that I would do some additional reverse sourcing. I would actually take this brand here because it looks like it's interesting. I would come onto Amazon and I would just search this brand. So of course you can do this yourself or you can train a VA to do this for you. But if items look interesting to me and they look like they may be an item that potentially has additional products on Amazon, I would certainly search it on Amazon, and then I would use a tool like Seller Amp. So you can just load Seller Amp directly and you can see all the information that you need to see, or have a extension like this down here that is called DS Amazon Quick View. This is the extended version. Only the extended version works in Canada. It's a one-time payment of like 20 US or something. But I think it's a very helpful tool. And then from here, I would just pull up every single product that looks interesting. And we can potentially turn one product into, 1, 2, 3. I've even, when we've done this method in the past, turned it into 20 different leads in the past as well. So we'll pull up a couple just for an example here. Again, I haven't looked through any of these yet, so this is all live, but we'll pull up a couple. I believe that's the one that we looked at. We'll just double check that is the same ASIN. So that is KM8. We were looking at KM8, so that is, we don't want to relook at that guy. We'll pull up one more for an example here. That may be the same product. We'd have to look into that. So that may be a viable product. We'd have to double check that guy. It might be slightly different. And then, yeah, we can see from doing this, when we start doing some rabbit holing, we can keep going down continuous rabbit holes. We can start searching brands, see what else makes sense. If we see some sellers on these brands that look like they regularly have viable products, we can start digging into their storefront, find additional brands, and we can just keep going and going and going, and we can just keep going down that rabbit hole. So this guy, I have too many tabs open, too much is going on, so we will just let this load here. I have a web monitor and whatnot going on, so it's using up a lot of my internet at the moment. Okay, cool. So it looks like this is an item that we had previously found for $7.28. So I'm not going to go through the process, but this is obviously an item that you probably could source for around that price. It looks like it's an item that does sell pretty okay. It looks like it has sold even better around $22, and it might make sense at that price as well. And you might be even able to sell more units at that price. And we'll look at just one or two more here. So it looks like this one. This is some duck jerky, 1 pound. It looks like it normally sells for $24.99. We have some inconsistent stock, but it does look like a decent sales rank. So let's just see if we can find this somewhere. So I typically like to hit that little Google button there And then I sometimes like to adjust the search terms because sometimes Google produces inconsistent results if you have a bunch of additional junk text in here. So I'll get rid of that to go 1 pound. I'm going to pull up this guy just because I saw it, just so we don't lose it. That's 227 grams. So that won't make sense anyway. 1 pound, Canada. Okay, so it looks like Well may have it. Let's double check our maximum buy cost here. So our max cost is 11.43. So 12 bucks, 13 bucks may be too high. That's 227 gram. That's 227 gram. It may be worth digging into that website just to see if they have the bigger size. But for the sake of time, we're not going to go too deep into it. So this is 227. So let's just double check to make sure that this is not a mismatch here. Sometimes people like to put different things in the title to throw off scanning software or to throw you off. That does specifically say 1 pound, so I wouldn't try to send in anything that is smaller. It looks like we found the 227 gram right here. So we saw the 227 gram for a little cheaper right here. So let's pull up this guy. That is sticks. This is jerky. So we have the jerky here at Well for $12.99. We can probably find it for cheaper, but for the interest of time, we're not going to go too much deeper. So we probably could. It looks like we had previously sourced it for $11.49. So that's another product that we could find. It definitely looks like it sells quite well, and you probably could find it cheaper than that. And then we'll just take a look at this last guy here quickly. So this is chicken breast pet treat. So this is sweet potato. Looks like it sells okay. Doesn't look too crazy. Our max cost is pretty low. And what size is this guy? 227. So I would imagine that our buy cost is probably going to be around 10, 11 bucks as well if it matches everything else that we've seen. So I'm not going to personally Google this one, but you certainly could. It looks like one seller may sell 10, 20 per month. So you might be able to make a couple bucks on this guy. Doesn't look like it's too crazy. But yeah, you can certainly see how we can continuously go down these rabbit holes and find additional products. Okay, so let's move on to the next guy here. I'm going to close up this one. So this one looks like it is a Lego Minecraft product. We previously sourced it from Indigo for $24.99, and we were listing it for $43.83. So for this guy here, it does look like it was an item that Amazon previously had not sold. We'd have to extend it further to see. Let's just take a peek here. So this was March 2022. That is May. So yeah, it looks like back in March, they were not selling it, or they were sparingly selling it. And then of course they came on the listing, and that certainly can happen. If you are familiar with Legos, you do know that there is kind of a limited life cycle with most Lego sets. They're typically only around for a couple years, and then they get retired. And when they do retire, they tend to, obviously the overall supply goes down, and then the demand doesn't typically change a whole lot. Sometimes the demand is slightly less, but as the supply goes down, we typically see the price increase and increase and increase. So this is an item that obviously doesn't look like it makes sense right now. It doesn't look like it's a retired Lego set because obviously Amazon is selling it. But this is an item that may make sense for us in the future. And so if we want to be notified of when this item starts becoming retired, I'm just going to pull this onto my other screen here just to make sure I don't show any pertinent information. So just give me one moment. Okay, cool. So if we want to double check here, or get notified by Keepa when this item will make sense for us in the future, because we'll probably be able to sell this for about 50 bucks plus when it does retire, and that would certainly make sense. And there will be a short window where this item is still available at retailers as it retires, as they're selling out of their stock. So we can use the track product function in Keepa to give us a notification. So we can have it notify us for prices specifically for Amazon, for third-party sellers, or specifically Prime sellers. We can go into the advanced settings and look at specific sales ranks, things like that. We can go pretty deep on this. But say I want this to notify me when Prime only, when the Prime price hits say we want an indication that's starting to retire. So say we want to be notified when the current prime price is $45. And then that will give us a notification. It'll send us directly to our email when Amazon is out of stock and the prime price is increasing. And then that would be an indication for us to dig deeper into this product, and we can then potentially start buying up the retired stock. And we can do this for other cases as well. So if we looked at a product that used to make sense and it has temporarily tanked, or looks like it's tanked over the last couple of months, we can set a notification for Keepa to inform us when the price has increased again. And then we can get those notifications, and then we can start digging deeper into that product when we get emailed about that. You can even subscribe to an RSS feed and get it to notify you in like Discord, Slack, things like that as well. So it's a pretty powerful tool. We use this quite often for things like this to help build up our lead pipeline. And I also use this often as well if we're doing Amazon flips from Amazon to say another listing, or from Amazon back on the same listing. I use this section to notify me if Amazon's in stock at a certain price. I use that all the time. And I also use this a lot for seasonal items. So when we go into the advanced settings or the pro settings, we can get notified about sales ranks. I use this for seasonal items as well to notify me once a sales rank starts coming back. Say I want to notify me once the sales rank hits 20 or 30K, so I know it's starting to sell again. And that will give us an indicator, a reminder to revisit these products because they are coming into season, and maybe we should start sourcing these products now. So there's lots of great ways you can use this feature. Okay, so let's look at one or two more examples here. So it looks like this product, we previously sourced this product from PetSmart for $16.99, and we're selling for $33.99. It looks like we had previously found it for a little bit cheaper as well. It looks like it's selling for more, but it doesn't look like it's selling for a whole lot. So this may be an item that the market demands to sell at, say, $25 or maybe up to like $31. Maybe they're not willing to pay $39, and that can certainly be the case. So it does certainly look like it was selling a lot better at, say, $32. So what if we drop this price down? Even at $32, this may be an item that is certainly viable, depending on where you can purchase it from and what the price is. We can look into previous data to see how well it was selling at that time. Take a quick peek here. We'll extend this graph, historical, say 180 or 365. So yeah, like recently, it doesn't look like it's selling too crazy. There are some people that are coming in stock, going out of stock pretty quickly. But it looks like when it was priced maybe a little bit cheaper, it was selling quite a bit more. So it does look like some sellers were selling more consistently. So this may be an item that you may want to scoop up a couple items if it makes sense for you and send them in at a lower price. And then this may be an item that you can then dominate the buy box because everybody else is priced at $39. Maybe you can drop that price, and maybe you can pick up 10, 20 sales a month and make a couple bucks on that guy. So let's look at one more example here. Just in the interest of time, I'm not going to look through everything else here, but we'll look at this other Lego example. As soon as it loads. Okay, so this one, it looked like we sourced it from a website I do not know how to pronounce. We previously sourced it for $14.99, selling for $29.99. So it looks like this guy, it is still selling. We do have some price fluctuations for sure. So it does look like it goes down to about 26, 27 bucks. Temporarily decreases to say 25, but right now it's at 29. This is an item that's not currently being sold by Amazon, so this may be something that is hard to find. So this would be one that I would actually search the model number. For me personally, I would use my Chrome extension that I have here called Truffle Piggy. I have a bunch of websites loaded in my Lego search that'll search all in one click. I'm not going to share that with everybody because you can figure that out for yourself. But you can certainly Google this model number and see if you are able to find it somewhere else. And if this is a retired Lego set, you may not have to be too concerned about price tanking, because if it does tank, it may only tank temporarily. Let's take a peek here. Lego Canada. So Lego may have it on sale. They may be out of stock. We'll take a quick peek. That looks like it's out of stock. So this may be one that's very hard to find. So unless you know some good sources, you may not be able to find it. A lot of sources that carry retired Lego sets, you're probably not going to find very much on Google unless you dig very, very deep. They tend to be very small stores that you may not have heard of before. Looks like Imagineer might have it. Let's take a look here. So yeah, it looks like it's retired with Lego and they no longer have it. So of course it's going to be pretty hard to find. Imagineer is out of stock as well. So that's one that if you are resourceful with sourcing for Lego, you may be able to find, and it may be viable for you again a year later. If not, then of course, probably not. So yeah, that is, I believe, everything that I want to cover for the leads list section here. So of course, make sure you think about these things, make sure you implement these additional methods in your business, because you can extend leads list a lot further than what you originally think. Leads lists to me are not just something that you just look at a couple individual products one time, buy what you want, and then disregard completely in the future. You can build a great database. You can resource that database over and over again. You can reverse source products. You can look at the bigger picture. You can be notified of products when they do make sense again, even when they have tanked. So there's a lot of additional value that you can find in there. Of course, not even mentioning you find a bunch of additional sources that you may not have heard of before. You can find additional seller storefronts on those listings that you can source as well. So there's all different kinds of things that you can do. So make sure you have an open mind with sourcing. And I would highly encourage you to implement some of these methods, try them out. And if you do have anything that works super well for you, or if you have any additional ideas that you have implemented with purchasing or using a leads list yourself, I would certainly like to hear your feedback in the comments. Let everybody else know of how you utilize your leads list service or how you do some additional sourcing. And that is all for today. Take care.